are. Today it is a nice calm day. We're about to get on the lake.
It's gonna be all calm all day in Canada.
We're set up. I've got
Lake Nipissing.
extra battery life. Got snack. Oh, we don't have a whole lot of snacks.
We got water.
I brought
Coconut water.
coconut water. I brought some granola bars, thankfully.
The cardboard in there.
A coconut water.
Now the water's clear. I can see where the jig is at.
I'm gonna get the anchor in here.
Got the anchor.
What happened?
It's cold. It's cool.
Get in the water, Alex. It's not cold.
That's crazy.
We are here on Lake Nipissing this morning. We're out here to look for some monsters. Get Alex in the boat. Yeah. We're off. We're off. Good morning, y'all. We're just getting started here. We're gonna go catch some monsters here today. We're on the search. Does it look like they put those rocks there? Or have they always been like that? Yeah? Good morning. It's a nice peaceful day here.
We'll make those bubbles.
Get the party started. What's up, y'all? What's up? Good morning. Kick this in the high gear so we can get out in the deep, away from the weeds. Yeah, we are out fishing. Jonathan. Jonathan Moran, good morning. Good morning. Well, let's wait till we get past these weeds. You know, there's a big patch of weeds right here. We'll get right past them. Yeah, we are on our way fishing here right now. We're just gonna get out past this little weed patch here and I'm gonna throw this BX Brad in here. We're both rocking this one for this morning. See if we can catch some monsters this morning. Nobody else is out.
Every time we get out here, it's like
Well, I wonder, is there weeds here? I guess there's only one way to find out. Yes. Been a minute since we've been out in the boat. Hey, Alex. I'm out here with Mr. Alex here. What's up? What's up? ML Emran. Emran. I'll call you Emran. What's up? SX. A little bit of a cooler morning this morning, so
all the hotness, all the wind.
I'm hoping the fish are a little bit more active.
Maybe it goes slower.
Get a slower pace going here. Get a slower pace. See if we can get something to react.
Yeah, we're not flying. Good sign.
Perfect. We got some nice cloud cover this morning. We're not out here baking in the sun, you know what I'm saying? Getting pink. You know I love the color pink, but only in certain places.
Yeah, strike a fish, yeah. I thought we called that fish on one. It was pink.
Hey yo, what's up? What's up? We are fishing here at Lake Nipissing, baby. Trying to rip some lip here today. Coming up to the island here where we usually catch something. Walleyes and bass and pike. You catch everything in this area right here. There's a good little path we can take.
Pike here, right at this island, is so huge pike.
Yeah, there's huge fish around here.
A lot of rock bass too. Rock bass will go through this too. Like I was catching all that rock bass.
Do a little lap with this BX Brat. If you don't catch anything, you're gonna put that new lure on. Do a lap with that.
something I can promise to you. You guys snagged a lot of time. Right down here at the rock. Not rock either. Right over there where all the walleyes are. And out at the bottom.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Whoever's up in here, don't forget to double tap that screen. Throw some likes up in here, please. Much appreciated. Appreciate it. It's supposed to be nice and calm like this all day.
Oh, like this?
All day, baby.
Maybe later it doesn't help. I wish we had a little scuba mask and we can just go dive in and look for fish when we're
Have like a scuba mask and just,
yeah, like
well, yeah, it would be cool.
you should see a huge muskie just sitting there.
Oh, the muskie would definitely see you first. It'd smell you from a mile away.
I'm doing it. They don't like doing that.
Well, that's just the thing. They'll smell the deodorant. It's not because you stink. It's just it's the smell of our blood and our meat.
How those fish breathe, but they don't have a nose?
They have gills, and they take the water circulates through their gills, and it creates oxygen, and then the oxygen goes into their system.
Why we can't do it? We're just gonna drown.
Well, that's another issue with the theory of evolution. Like, if they say that we evolved, we started off in the water. Where did all of our water attributes go? Did they just get ripped away? Like, if we started up in here and we started in the water, we had to have had gills of some sort.
I love how calm it is. It's just like that one wave. Go top one, kind of 4-pounder.
Wow, we got some long names. Arp, what's up, Arp? I'll call you Arp. What's up, Arp?
Why is there a butterfly on the way?
Oh yeah, it's taking the wrong path. That butterfly's gonna get smashed by a pike or something. I wonder if it's coming to chase after us. Is it coming our way?
No. Doing it around circles. Trying to find the sun. No,
Ooh, there's that sun. There's that sun.
the sun's gonna
Yeah, we are on Lake Nipissing in Ontario, Canada, baby. We're gonna try and rip some lip here today.
Yeah, it's real calm today.
Super calm. We out here in the canoe.
I bet I'm gonna get smashed.
another boat out there. Looks like they just came out of the river. But it's a beautiful morning here to be out on the lake, nice and calm. We are in search of some monsters here. Sun's hot though. Holy. Those clouds can come back. I think a day like today, those white ones would be, I think those white ones I got, the new lures.
After this stop, I will change lures to see what I got.
So I'm going to change. Thank you. Either this one or there's a slightly bigger one of that. These are repellers.
This is the good one. It's the good type of box.
No, we go straight out for a little bit. I know there's a hole. This is where our hole's out in front of us here somewhere. Actually, you know what? No. Undecided. There it is. Put this bigger one on. Put this baby on. It's got that. Let's see if we can catch something with this. I want to catch some wally or some muskie. So.
I'm gonna switch. If I didn't catch anything, that's a bad sign.
What's up, y'all? Watching in. How's everybody's day going?
This is kind of like a musky lure.
What's that?
This one.
Yeah. More like a pike / muskie.
It's like a minnow.
Super nice and quiet.
No boats are freaking yeeting us.
Birds? Lots of birds over there. I wonder if we should go over there.
Yeah, maybe snack birds fish. I still have the fish go on this.
Real Outdoors, what's up? Let's go! Yeah, we are here. Finally out. So I'm gonna try, I'm doing this for right now. I did have the BX Brad on. We went and did a lap of this island here.
Caught nothing. So
Okay, I mean, it is still pretty early in the day. We're switching up lures. We got a bunch of birds over there. We're gonna
drive up there.
troll our way over there and see what's got them all stirred up.
I was moving my backpack here. Yeah, I thought you had been with this.
Yeah. Big fan of the Rapella. Oh, those little baby ducks are running from something too. Ooh, there's something big over there. Yeah, all my biggest fish have been caught off a Rapella. We've been having lots of luck with this one. This one's only bought at the start of this year, this season. I've already had to replace the hooks on it. It's caught quite a few fish. A lot of fish, man. I've had to replace both hooks. It had also got lost. Alice lost it on a snag or something. And then we found it like a week or two later, washed up on the shore. Completely different spot. It was amazing. I wonder if we need to speed it up. Water is kind of cold. Pick up the pace a little bit, see if we can get something to react.
I think the bottom is warm, so.
It's crazy how those dragonflies, they fly like almost parallel on top of one another. They fly like this, and it's so perfect. This tiny little blue dragonfly, like a light blue, almost turquoise color.
Yeah, one of our streams, we saved a dragonfly.
Yeah, this big dragonfly hit the water and it was kind of floating in the water. I could see it trying to fly, but once they hit the water like that, they don't fly anymore. And I pulled a Yui, turned around and went back, picked it up, brought it in the boat, let it recover until it flew away.
Yeah, you hit it.
I hit it?
Yeah, you hit it when you were getting out of the boat to go to the bathroom. And you needed to poop.
Oh.
It flew away.
as long as it flew away, saved its life. Dragonflies are cool. So peaceful being out here this morning. I brought a radio with me. I don't even want to turn it on. Dude, I cannot translate your name. I'll call you Yag. Yeah, do you catch a bunch of stuff that looks like dragonfly? Was that top water one that you had that you were rocking? Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for liking the stream, man. Thanks for stopping in. We're gonna try and catch some fish here. Thank you very much. Yeah, man. So that dragonfly, is that top water one you were throwing? Somebody, was it you that was watching? So many streams I got mixed in together yesterday. We're coming up to a rock structure here. Let's see if we can get something stirred up.
You said there was a lot of birds here, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of birds in this area earlier.
I'm betting I catch a illusion this game. I don't even know what
PB crawler, yeah, that's what it's called.
what is that?
I'm gonna have to look into that. I could probably order that off of Amazon, I'm sure. Got a nice rock structure right here. We're gonna putt along, going past here, and see if we can get something stirred up. It's a little rock structure right here. Middle of the lake. This is my son. Say hi, Alex.
Hi.
My rod stopped.
We're going camping this weekend.
Yeah, we're going camping this weekend, baby.
3 days.
I can't wait. It's gonna be nice. Cause I love a good topwater. Alex was throwing topwater the other day. Caught a couple rock bass with it, and a smallmouth. 2 rock bass and a smallmouth, right?
I think one rock bass and one bass. And then the Green Bee Extract caught 3 rock bass.
Surprised we're catching that many rock bass. There's a lot more.
Rock bass and
We're catching more rock bass this year than we have been in previous years, which is weird. Not a big fan of the rock bass. Eat your lure.
It's freaking small.
Yeah, just little. Just little guys.
That first rock bass I caught down in that hole, that rock bass was huge. As long as those rock bass sit there for long enough.
Indonesia, welcome in. Bang J Mammoths. Sorry, that's a long name. But welcome in, my friend. Welcome in. Hello. We are in Ontario, Canada. on Lake Nipissing. Look for monsters here today. We're looking for monsters. Some muskie, pike, pickerel, bass. Keep an eye out on this rock structure. I'm not sure how deep it is right here. We're gonna make a couple tight laps around here and see if we can get something to react. Maybe I should lap around the other way, so I don't catch your line. That's awesome. So Indonesia, what do you usually catch? Like, what's your main, like, do you fish like we're fishing with poles? Or do you fish with, do you net and do stuff like that? And what type of fish is it that you're fishing? Indonesia, I know they got some real big fish. Yeah, don't forget to give this a thumbs up, like, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna make a Yui. I'll go. Or maybe we'll figure 8 down to this structure here and then we'll come back. Because there's another structure right in front of us. I'm gonna pick up the pace. See if we can get something to react here. We need something here. Alice is looking bored. What? Yeah, me too, man. We're searching for the big monsters here today. We're gonna get around these structures, see if we can get something to come. The last shad wrap I had that was like this, it was a jointed one though. I was cruising around nice and slow. I had a big old muskie came up and smacked it. It was a good fight, man. It was the biggest fight that I ever had.
Look on my rod.
And I didn't have my net at that time, so I couldn't get it in the boat. Big old muskie.
Yeah, look.
Broke my line. Oh yeah, dragonfly. Yeah, these little blue ones. Those are crazy. Oh, did it fly away? Oh, it flew away. Where'd it go? It is pretty gray today.
It's like it's raining on
Pretty gray.
me.
No.
Resting on the concrete. They have seagulls as pets.
Who?
The guy on YouTube. I was scrolling on shorts.
And a seagull as pets?
Yeah, the guy has pets of seagulls. That one looks just like
I say we stop here and we'll just cast. We'll cast into that.
maybe throwing some dog water. I'm throwing some dog water here.
Yeah, we just got to cool down here, so I'm really happy about it. It's been nice and chilly the past little bit.
Dog water.
It's not super hot. I've got this the neck camera holder mount, but it takes a lot to put it on.
Getting some dog water action.
Yeah, I'm thankful for this little bit of cool down we got going on here because I'm not a big fan of the heat. Oh.
Imagine a fish just freaking came out of nowhere and wiped up. That would be insane. Where you casting?
You can just cast towards the rock. I don't know what that was.
Rock bass might come to this. Last time I used it, I probably won't.
You're getting a little too close to this rock. I don't like it.
Yeah, too close.
Shut up. Yeah, I mean, so with the heat, you can only take off so many clothes, right? You can only take off so many clothes. But when you can dress for the cold, right? You can put clothes on and make yourself nice and warm. Yeah, I do. We do ice fishing. Alex, you can't pile your shit up around the phone, please?
No, my father's fucking fishing with my bag. It's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, we do dabble into doing some ice fishing. We go to the other parts of the lake for doing that. Lake Nipissing is pretty famous for its ice fishing. People come from all over, pay thousands of dollars to spend a week here. You can catch some real big walleyes here. That's what everybody's coming for. Walleye, muskie. A lot of muskie being caught this year. A lot of big muskie. I'm not sure why, but they're even coming close to the shore.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Muskies are coming in closer to the shore lately.
I need to go to the pee.
Right off the
This
shoreline.
locker is really freaking. Oh, the only water I love being.
No, I haven't caught anything yet. Nothing yet.
The water is very cold.
We got a little rock structure here in the middle of the lake. We're casting around. Alex has got a top water on. See if we can get something to react.
Sun's out.
Don't forget to throw a thumbs up on the stream. If you haven't subscribed yet, throw the subscribe button in there too. Much appreciate it. Love this fishing community. up, Hunter? How's it going? Hunter T.
That's one of my friend's names.
Maybe it is your friend. Are you Canada Kid's friend?
Alex, I mean. He doesn't know my YouTube channel.
Oh, Alex?
Yeah. Going around slowly. Oh, that's a fish.
Was that a fish right there?
That was
Yeah,
a
it
little
was.
fish.
Just a little one?
Yeah. Oh, there's a huge weed patch right there. I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Maybe a big fish will come up.
Oh, it's pretty shallow here.
Oh wow, more weed. Wonder what was that kind of fish was doing.
Yeah, thanks. It's just it's an older canoe. It's an old canoe, but it does a job. I got seats. I got all the right gear that we need for it to be comfortable. Not too heavy. It works. I can walk this right across the street. Oh. Oh, maybe that was that weed. Caught that weed. What the heck? Did I lose my line? I lost my lure. I lost my lure.
Go back then.
What the hell?
You yanked it on the weed too hard.
There's no way though. I didn't yank it that hard.
Maybe I'll catch it with my rod. Go back.
Oh.
Might be on the weed.
Oh, maybe that's that. That's it floating in the water right there, I think.
Oh, it floats?
Yeah.
It's way back there. Come on, big fish.
Another one fish just came up right there. Oh, well, minnow, this fish here. Something's here.
That's your lure. That's the leader too. Oh, fish are popping up here. I only saw one fish. Oh, it says one fish. Should I grab off my lure? Oh my god. Got weeds. The leader's sticking up, but
We got a recovery effort here, everybody. Somehow my line came off and my lure is currently floating in the water right here. Currently floating in the water right there. So, we got lucky today. Can you sit the fuck down so I don't dump you? And we have a recovery. Let's go.
some lines. How did you break that?
Let's go.
We're getting too close to the rock.
Are we?
There is food.
All right. Well, that was a good sign that I had to retie my knot.
We just need to catch the fish.
Rippin' lips, baby. Rippin' lips. Ripping lines too, apparently. Alex, you know what? Oh, I do have scissors in here.
What?
No, I was about to say I don't have a knife or scissors or anything. I lied. I lied.
I know there's a fish here. We're going straight to the freaking rock. I can the that. Maybe go to the island.
I've been liking that new war zone lately.
Yeah. Or lockdown.
Yeah.
Make some loud noises when they wake up. Fish. Or eating. Wake up. It's so deep here.
Well, it can't be that deep. Because we saw the weeds, right? Holy, what did I... Jesus. Just... Oh my God, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I'm gonna change the strap real quick.
Guys, I obviously didn't get enough sleep last night. Tied my lure on without putting the line through the eyelids. Let's try this again. Fuck. Okay, we're gonna troll back.
Let's try going to the island and throw some salt water.
The one back there. Oh, let's stand up a second here. Oh. Do you have the fish goo?
In the pocket.
Yeah, so I want to make a table. I got that foam from that cooler. Big flat foam, nice thick foam that came with that cooler. I want to make a table right here.
Why is my tack box making a rainbow?
What?
My tack box is making a rainbow.
What do you mean?
It's making a rainbow.
Are you tripping on or something?
No.
What do you mean you're
It's literally creating a rainbow if I go over here. But it doesn't show it if I go here. There's a rainbow.
okay? I see rainbows too all the time. Come on, baby, let's go. We need some fucking fish here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I feel like my screen went really dark for some reason. You got the BX Brat?
Yeah, the green.
I love being out here when it's nice and calm like this.
When are we gonna go fishing with Kyle?
I don't know. Come on, fishy.
What's that? Oh, it looks like it got calmer.
Yeah, it is. I gotta. I'm gonna try and strap this seat right down so I can just kind of lean back. Lean back. Lean back. Like you could probably lean right back, put your seat in the back there and lean right back. Should have put the solar charger in the boat. Tried to make it all the way to the islands. I wonder how long that would take. Just trolling at a speed like this.
2 hours.
Yeah, it'd probably take a long time.
No sign of fish yet. I need to pee.
Again?
I
Man,
drank a whole bottle of water before.
a whole bottle of water before we left.
Yeah, clean water, not the same.
Sexy. This is nice. I like it. It's maxing and relaxing, dude. We could just set this motor and just max and relax. Maybe we catch something though.
Yeah, if we go to the island with top water,
That one's right
Okay.
ahead.
catching that PB bass.
Catch that bass again, eh?
Yeah.
The bassisi.
Do we ring the scale?
Yep. That bassisi.
So we got coming, isn't it? all the wind.
Let's see how this baby works. This is a pretty cool little thing here. This is a little radio, AM, FM, and weather band. It's got a solar panel in the back for charging. It's got a light. It's got another light there.
Fires that would burn off the underbrush but not reach up into the tree canopies and kill them. Now the problem we've had in US forests is that by putting out all our fires, we've built up so much undergrowth that when fires do occur, they become crown fires and are catastrophic and kill the trees. But that's always been the natural state of things in the boreal forest. And I think a lot of the confusion that we've had over the last week in the US is, trying to treat the boreal like Western US forests, but in reality, they're very, very different systems.
Can you compare them?
I don't think you really can. I mean, they're both forests and they both have extreme fire behaviors. I mean, in that sense, they're comparable. But the types of management
All right, man.
you need to do for both, or even
Thanks for stopping in.
is,
Don't forget to drop a
differs
like.
Immensely. And I think that the boreal, because of its enormous area and remoteness, and the nature of the trees that grow there, there's no way to fundamentally stop it from burning. You can't put out all fires in the boreal. And in fact, fires in remote regions far from where people live are actually good for the forest. Many of the trees have adapted to germinate and produce new seeds after fires come through. And so, we don't have the same sort of system where you can effectively do thinning and controlled burns throughout the entire region like we can in the American West, in part because it's just a different type of forest and a different type of trees.
To that issue of management, though, I mean, the smoke from the fires in northern and western Ontario has caused air quality concerns in the U.S. states. Acute concerns, really. And there's even American politicians blaming Canada for
Double
poor
tap,
forest
double tap.
management. I mean, how
Don't
much
be
truth
mean.
is there
Double
to
tap
that
that
criticism, then,
screen.
given what you've just said?
So I think there is, broadly speaking, some truth that we need to manage our forests better, but I think where it falls short is this idea that it would somehow stop the smoke. Because if we look at where fires are actually happening, 4/5 of the area burned in Canada over the last 20 years happened in remote boreal regions that have never been managed and never been suppressed. So it's not like in the US where the sins of Smokey the Bear have come back to bite us, so to speak. In the boreal, for the most part, fires have never been put out. Unless they happen to threaten communities or be in managed areas, they're just allowed to burn. And so there's not the same history of mismanagement that there is in US forests.
Can you explain what you mean there by the sins of Smokey the Bear? Because I remember Smokey the Bear from my childhood.
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
I don't know if he still exists for American children or not. Hey, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so Smokey the Bear is still the mascot of the U.S. Forest Service. So starting in the 1930s, after some particularly catastrophic fires that occurred, the U.S. built a National Forest Service and a National Fire Fighting Service under it and dedicated it to preventing forest fires writ large. And so they actually did quite a good job for about 70 years of suppressing forest fires. And broadly speaking, the amount of fires in area burned in the U.S. went down sharply for, close to a century. But the problem is, particularly in the American West, forests had adapted to these low-level fires that would go through and clear the brush. And by putting out those fires too effectively, we essentially built the conditions for really catastrophic crown fires that would actually kill the trees to occur. And that's, in addition to climate change, which we can get to in a second, has been what's driving, the really catastrophic fires we've seen in the American West in recent years. That being
Big
said,
old mussy
there
comes
still
and
is a
takes
lot
one
of
of those
important
ducks
forest
out.
management that needs to be
Boom!
done, both in Canada and the US. In Canada, we should focus a lot more on protecting vulnerable communities in the wild and urban interface. And so there, mechanical thinnings, some controlled burns, more defensible spaces, stronger building codes. There's a lot we can do to protect the communities that are on the front lines of these fires. But the idea that we're going to be, going 500 kilometers into the remote boreal wilderness where there has never been any roads remotely close and, doing controlled burns is silly and just impractical. The sheer size of the boreal, the size of the European Union, means that there's no way it would be practical or affordable.
And so, getting into the climate piece of this for a moment, and actually thinking of Smokey Bear, the one thing I remember from those ads I saw as a kid was something about an owl and giving a hoot, don't pollute. How do we know these fires are directly connected to climate change?
So it's important to say that climate change itself, by and large, doesn't cause fires, right? There still is, a
Wanna put your
campfire that
dog
gets out
water
of
on?
control, a lightning strike in a remote region. There's a lot of something has to light the blaze. But how bad a fire becomes depends largely on the conditions of the vegetation when the fire occurs. And so when a blaze starts, it's much more likely to spread and not sort of put itself out if the vegetation is dry. And the vegetation is likely to be dry if it's both hot and there has been relatively low rainfall. Now, we see this in Canada, for example. 9 out of 10 of the biggest fire years in Canadian history happened when it was hotter and drier than normal. In 2023, which of course was the worst fire year in Canadian history by a mile or kilometer, happened in a year that was the warmest by far on record for the fire season, the sort of May through September period. And so there's a very, very clear connection between the hotter temperatures we've seen during the fire season and climate change. Canada's fire season has warmed by about 2.7 degrees centigrade since the pre-industrial period and about 2.2 degrees just since the 1960s. And so, we expect that land in higher latitude areas like Canada will be the fastest warming places in the world, and that's exactly what we see. And so if a lightning strike happens somewhere in the remote Yukon, chances are 50 years ago, it was going to be too wet or too cold for that to really spread into a giant blaze. Today, because the vegetation is much drier, that lightning strike is much more likely to cause a big burn, which in turn results in a huge plume of smoke that affects people.
So we've been talking mostly about prevention. Now the fires are actually burning, though. Politicians in the U.S. are also calling for Canada to make the smoke stop, including President Donald Trump. What do you think of Trump asking Prime Minister Mark Carney to stop the fires? What kind of resources
retarded.
would that actually take?
I just don't think it's fundamentally possible, right? The idea of taking the entire area and making it a fire-free zone, would cost hundreds of billions of dollars. Every individual Canadian would have to, manage something like 900 square kilometers of space.
Well, no,
the math just
try
doesn't
and
add up. And so I think
maintain the
practically
boreal
there's
forest.
not much we can do about these sort of smoke events.
That
and they
the
are
forest
going
is
to
so
become
thick you
part
can't
of
even
the new
walk
normal,
through it.
as
And for somebody,
the
and
boreal
it's
becomes
so
more powerful
large.
than
It's like one of the
ever.
largest.
In terms of a new normal, that also
Largest
presumably
forest.
includes the finger pointing over it. And President Trump's also floated the idea of making Canada pay damages. What do you think of another country potentially penalizing a neighbor for wildfire smoke related to climate change?
I think we need to be careful what we wish for,
Wanna
because
get
there's
closer?
currently fires burning in Oregon that are pouring smoke into British Columbia. Shows
Get it in there, dude. You
Canada
can
be
cast that far.
sanctioning the U.S. over its fires at the moment. It's sort of like throwing stones in glass houses, so to speak, if the U.S., particularly under an administration that's so opposed to climate action, is blaming Canada for a problem that is being exacerbated by the very climate change that the U.S. is contributing to.
All right, Zeke Housefather, thank you very much for joining us today.
No worries, it was a pleasure to be on.
The Trump administration isn't the only government rolling back climate policy. Environmental groups in this country are also criticizing Ottawa for fast-tracking resource projects and weakening environmental protections, even as Prime Minister Mark Carney acknowledges the role of climate change in this year's fire season. In fact, in response to U.S. complaints about wildfire smoke, Mark Carney said all countries, including the U.S., have a responsibility to fight climate change. And he pointed to a long history of cooperation between Canada and the U.S. on wildfires on both sides of the border. But the relationship is feeling a little strained right now. Oh, remember the Ohio senator we heard from earlier? The one who called cross-border smoke a, quote, completely man-made disaster? Republican Bernie Moreno has introduced a bill calling for financial penalties on Canadian officials involved in wildfire management, including the Prime Minister, and even a ban to stop them entering the US. As an interim measure, the bill asks US Secretary of State Marco Rubio to consider kicking out Canada's ambassador. But if global climate change is a major factor in how these fires started in the first place, then how far can and should the US go with its threats to punish Canada for the health hazards that come from wildfire smoke? I put that question to my next guest, Godwin Jar. He's an assistant professor at the University of British Columbia's Allard School of Law and an expert on transnational environmental law. I started our conversation by asking him about the sanctions the Ohio senator is proposing and whether they're even legally possible.
The measures that you just talked about are things that the U.S. could do unilaterally. It is possible to remove our ambassador from the U.S. It is also possible that the U.S. can impose certain sanctions in terms of those who it receives into the U.S., including our Prime Minister. But in reality, there's more to be done before we can get to that point.
So, I mean, Republicans in the U.S. have talked about the possibility of new tariffs or,
That
creating a
was quite the
victim
skip.
compensation fund for Americans impacted by the very real health effects of smoke. What do you think of those ideas?
Well, I think that particular suggestion is not new. If you go back into the U.S.-Canadian history, back in 1935, there was what we call the Trill Smelter arbitration that involved a factory that was producing fumes, and those fumes were traveling from Trill, British Columbia, right here in this province, into the state of Washington. And that affected farmers because it turned into acid rain, and then that caused all kinds of poisonous effects on those farms. Now, before that issue could get to the point of litigation between the two countries set up a commission to look into this matter. And there were two outcomes. First outcome was that Canada was supposed to pay compensation to farmers in the U.S., in the state of Washington, for losing their lands to acid rain traceable to these factories operating from Trill, British Columbia. So there is a possibility that the United States can require payment of some compensation. The second was perhaps the most fundamental element of international environmental law, which was established in this particular arbitration, which says that
Let's go.
there should be no harm caused to another state based on something that is happening in one state. So in this case, the no harm principle suggests that whatever is happening within Canada should be contained within the boundaries of Canada. And if it causes harm to the United States, then it's a matter that requires some legal redress.
So that's a contaminant created at a smelter in Trail, British Columbia, creating, as you said, acid rain. How should we think about wildfire smoke in relation to that or in that context?
That's a really good question. We see, to some extent, some examples in the states in the Southeast Asia, three major countries here, in Indonesia, Malaysia, and partly in Singapore, put together a treaty of a sort in 2002, and that came into effect in 2003, and that was intended to help address the transboundary movement of haze. But in this particular instance, what we see in that treaty is that it deals largely with agricultural burning. Agricultural burning here involves the preparation of farmlands, which sometimes involves burning new forests so we can make room for more farms. Malaysia and Indonesia typically would turn a blind eye to these high levels of agricultural burning because they derive a lot of revenue from the export of food products abroad. But since the treaty came into force, Singapore has gone a step further by putting in place a law that in many ways tries to punish the transboundary movement of haze, whether it's committed by a person in Singapore or someone outside Singapore. But we haven't seen any particular prosecutions that have arisen out of that. Neither have we seen Singapore impose any civil penalties in terms of compensation on those kinds of persons who do that.
So, as the climate warms, how likely is it that the conversation about smoke and liability comes up again and we have to keep grappling with it?
Again, we know that there are examples here to suggest that if you can trace the source of the fire to human conduct, it might be easy to put in place a liability regime. But if the fires are traceable to natural causes, including lightning, then those are what we call gray areas, or they are areas that leave room for some level of. And so that is the kind of distinction that we need to be able to address before we can even get to drawing up any new treaty.
So where that
okay, sit down for a second so I can adjust here.
Gray area grows because of climate change. Is there a legal solution that can work for both countries if we continue to see threats of retaliation from the U.S. in future fire seasons?
Yeah.
Well, before I address the question, I think that we need to also look at how wildfires from the U.S. have impacted and continue to impact Canada too. So liability might go both ways. And this is where a future attempt at a new treaty would have to contemplate what kinds of solutions that we might put in place that would address these kinds of questions. Maybe there could be a global wildfire liability fund that a country that suffers from wildfires and haze may apply to that fund, to receive some money to mitigate or to address the effects of wildfires in its country. That is something we've seen in other international agreements, including marine pollution, for example. So that is a possibility in terms of wildfires.
Like, that sort of seems possibly what they're suggesting in Ohio. What would that look like?
If it's just at a regional level between just the US and Canada, then it's something that both countries would have to contribute some money into or dedicate a certain portion of their national revenue to addressing, so that either way, either the US or Canada can fall on those funds to mitigate the challenges that are imposed on them through the wildfires.
Whoa.
So, if I understand it correctly, you're saying this type of
slower
fund could
on
serve
this
both
boat,
the
man.
U.S. and
Especially
Canada, and
just
both
standing
governments would be the ones to pay into it.
And it is also possible that if other entities, including companies that through their activities wildfires may be a frequent occurrence, then those may have to pay directly or may have to pay indirectly because of the national arrangements that are happening internally. At this point in time, climate change is part of our reality, so there's no running away from that fact. What we need to think about in terms of legal solutions is to think more creatively about a global approach that involves an international treaty, for example, or a regional approach that involves some agreement, binding agreement.
I'm gonna bring out the old school jitterbug.
Structures around how we think about responsibility or state responsibility when it comes to fires, wildfires, and also within that structure, think about what lower levels of responsibility are placed, particularly on persons or companies or agents through whose actions we have these kinds of wildfires happening.
Well, Godwin Jha, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Before we started talking, I asked Godwin why he got into international environmental law. He told me he thought the way we regulate climate and environmental disasters, especially across borders, was going to be the big legal question.
The old school jitterbug, baby. Let's go.
What we've seen this summer so far, the impacts of climate change increasingly don't stay within the boundaries of just one country or province. As Zeke Housefather said, the smoke will be back, and people living in both Canada
for a long time,
and
and I
the
haven't tried
US
anything
will
with
once
it yet.
again be looking to their leaders for answers and action. This won't be the last time we have to grapple with this kind of cross-border conflict or the legal questions of liability and harm. And so another thing Godwin Jar told me, that is going to be virtually impossible to do if one of the biggest players in this debate, the United States, doesn't acknowledge the harms of climate change. And we've got some time to catch you up on some of this week's climate stories. New research from McGill University confirms that a certain tree species can act as a wildfire barrier, the aspen tree. Researchers looked at satellite imagery of Canada's boreal forest before and after wildfires. They found larger patches of aspen at the perimeters of burned out areas. Flavie Peltier is a PhD graduate and the study's lead author. She says that while aspens are useful in combating wildfires, there's a war against aspen in commercial forests.
If aspen are important in the formation of a fire barrier or slowing fire progression, then if you significantly reduce aspen in commercial forests, whether it's through like brushing on glyphosate, then I really believe that you're increasing fire risk in the long term.
We've spoken before on this show about how aspen trees are being planted as a natural fire break around the city of Whitehorse. That's the first project of its kind in Canada. This new research from McGill goes some way toward understanding how exactly aspen can stop or slow wildfire. One theory is that the trees naturally contain much more moisture as compared to coniferous trees. The European Union is banning large companies from destroying unsold clothes and shoes. Currently,
all right, we're gonna get you on another view here.
Usable goods are shredded every year across the EU's 27 nation members. According to the European Environment Agency, or the EEA, 4% to 9% of unsold textile products are destroyed each year. That number is growing due to the online shopping boom and how easy it is to order and then return items. Now, European states are under pressure to make their textile industries more sustainable. The ban, which comes into effect this week, is part of Europe's move to cut waste by reducing the incineration of clothes that contributes to greenhouse gas emissions. The rules will apply to medium-sized companies starting in 2030. It is interesting to note that the ban doesn't apply when items are counterfeit or when they infringe on intellectual property rights.
That works good.
Companies can be fined for violations.
Going sideways.
This summer, we're showcasing some of our favorite episodes that we think are worth another listen. We first brought you this next story last November. That's when we heard about a new podcast out of Denmark that takes a rather unconventional approach to talking about climate change. I'll let Laura Lynch take it from here.
I have sunscreen.
The sound of whiskey pouring into a glass. It's the best sound in the world. Don't you agree, Mr. B?
Yeah, Shaboos. That whiskey and smoke-soaked voice. You might think that you're in the wrong place, but yes, you are listening to What on Earth, and I am Laura Lynch. Today, though, we're talking about a different podcast with a different host. Because that voice you just heard, that's Mother Nature you're listening to. Or rather, it's Iggy Pop playing the role of Mother Nature. That's right, the musician Iggy Pop, also known as the godfather of punk.
Grab your thimble. We need to make a toast. This is the first episode after all.
Let me check the water.
Here you go.
Oh, that's perfect then.
Beginnings.
Perfect picture for baseball then.
Let's get this show on the road, Mr. B.
Okay, bear with me. As you can hear there, Mother Nature has a sidekick named Mr. B, hence the buzzing. And that was them toasting their new podcast, which is called Sweet Little Human. Mother Nature is angry and exhausted and also looking for solutions. So Mother Nature, along with some helpers, talked to climate scientists about the mess we've made of the planet. So there you have it, that's the premise. And I'm joined now by the creators of Sweet Little Human, Roxanne Batty and Nikolai Kirk. They're based in Denmark, and that's where we reached them. Roxanne and Nikolai, welcome to What on Earth.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Roxanne, I'll start with you. Why would people want to listen to a cranky old person swilling whiskey and telling them how bad things are out there?
I mean, I think, like, yes, Mother Nature is extremely cranky and quite difficult to, I don't know, he has his issues, or they have their issues, but I think it's also hilariously funny to listen to, like, this very gritty, growly voice. I mean, I think, if you're a fan of Iggy Pop's voice, I mean, that's one reason to listen to it, because he has such an epic voice. But I also think it's like, why not? Like, why can't Mother Nature be an angry, alcoholic, very narcissistic, actually?
I mean, if Mother Nature really existed, he would most likely be really angry and alcoholic, I guess.
Okay,
at this point in time.
Nikolai, I hear that you are a fan of punk music, so how did it feel to work with this legendary musician?
It was awesome, actually. It was really, I mean, he was, first of all, a really sweet guy, actually. He really, like, captured the whole voice, the whole character. He captured it right from the start. We made a little test session after we got the deal through, and we recorded for like an hour, and it was just, he really did an amazing job. So it was really amazing. Obviously, I'm a punk fan as well. I have some of his records. I have the first Stooges record, Raw Power, I think it's entitled, and I like a lot of his songs. So yeah, obviously, yeah, it's amazing. And sometimes when you sit there and recording with him, you have to think like, okay, it's a legend. And sometimes when you're, you know, like instruct him like, Iggy, do it again. It can be a little like weird because he's such a big star. But I mean,
For me, it was absolutely surreal. I think I never believed we'd ever get Iggy Pop, and when we did, I was like, I still didn't really believe it until it was signed, the contract.
But Roxanne, why did you choose Iggy Pop in the first place?
I mean, we talked about a lot of different actors. It was a lot about the voice. The voice was very important, but also, I guess, someone who was like an icon. I mean, it's like, we looked at Dylan Moran, who's an Irish comedy actor. He's also like really gritty, and he drinks a lot in that, and he plays this great character in a British series from the 90s. But we also looked at like Willem Dafoe. He has like an epic voice. There was other actors that we sort of thought about and actually got in contact with in the end. But like Iggy Pop, it just sounds also like Iggy Pop is Mother Nature. I remember you saying that quite a lot, Nikolai. A punk legend, Iggy Pop plays Mother Nature.
Yeah.
It just feels...
Yeah, it kind of feels right that Mother Nature is played by the godfather of punk. There's something in that that's quite cool, you know? So even though we got pretty close to, I mean, we couldn't, we didn't like seal the deal with Willem Dafoe, but his agent was quite like, yeah, sure, that could be a project for him. I think we were like, no, it makes more sense that it's Iggy Pop.
And I mean, it's like he does a Radio 6 show, and he's so gravelly on it.
On BBC.
Exactly, the BBC Radio 6 on Sundays at 6 p.m. It's like...
I mean, his voice is perfect suitable for this show.
And I guess maybe he's closer to nature since he often doesn't wear a shirt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even when we like talked to him, he had a vest on.
That's a point for sure.
Yeah.
Nikolai, at the beginning of one episode, we hear from the editor of the podcast, and she's not happy about what she's heard. She goes on a bit of a rant filled with expletives, and there are a lot of swear words in this podcast. Yeah. And then she tells Mother Nature to fill out a questionnaire about the goals of...
Oh, there's somebody on the island.
I want everyone to listen to this.
Oh, I just got a bite.
Question. Why do you want to make this podcast? Because I hate the world.
Yeah, there's somebody on the island.
I want to see it burn.
They're on the other side. Because I just seen them.
No, Mr. B. Don't
Fuck, man.
Write some nonsense. Something like, I want to create a podcast about the climate crisis because I believe in the importance of raising awareness and action around this urgent global issue, blah, blah, blah. Whatever satisfies their legal department. Next question.
I kind of feel like Mother Nature's taking a poke at me there, but what are you trying to do here with this criticism?
I mean, obviously there is a criticism of the media itself as well. I mean,
Uh-oh.
this topic, the climate, is really difficult to communicate. I guess you also know that from your show. And I think also when we have been doing this podcast, we also had meetings with big medias about releasing it together. And we also got all these questions like, who is the target audience? Of course, you have to think about who is the target audience. But sometimes you also have to think about, I mean, why do you want to make this podcast? That's actually a real question from media in Denmark, where you have to like fill in this form. So actually all the questions are real from this form from a Danish media. Obviously,
Well, dare I ask you, why did you make this podcast?
Why do you want to make this podcast? I think it's important to talk about this issue because I think the climate is a big thing, and I think we don't talk enough about it. And I think we need to create much more awareness. And
but it's also like the way I think it's quite funny how like we use those questions
Yep.
to also show how like actually when you're trying to get people interested or when people talk about climate, they're like, yes, this is an important global issue. Like Iggy did a great job of
I don't know if it was a hit or if it was a rock.
and it was what we also had to do when we were applying for funding and everything for it. It's like you kind of have to. It's not a lie. Of course, it is true that this is a big global issue, but it's also like it can kill creativity when you go into this very like I don't know overzealous, like almost pious way of talking about it. I mean, it's not that it's not important. It is, but it's also important that people listen and read it. And if it's the same old thing all the time, people are not going to listen. And I think that was one of the reasons why it's mocking the fact that we kind of had to speak like that, but we didn't want to create it like that. We wanted to like do it in a very different way, and it was hard to describe to people. A lot of people did not understand what it was.
It's hard to describe this project to someone.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's why we wanted to talk to you, but also play some of the tapes so people get a better sense of it, because we hear from a lot of scientists in the podcast. In the first episode, Mother Nature gets frustrated with one of them. So let's listen to Mother Nature talking to eminent climate scientist Sir David King.
Look at where we are today. Okay. Temperatures reaching 49.5 degrees centigrade over a 2 to 3 week period. We see these submerging cities submerged by catastrophic floods.
David.
Extreme climate events over the last 5 years. I can just give some numbers here.
No numbers. David.
Nikolai, why no numbers?
I mean, it's because sometimes numbers can be like, oh, I give you a number. If we just reduce carbon dioxide by 250, I mean, people don't understand these numbers, you know. So I think this whole scene is about that. It's hard to talk about these things because they get really technical, and actually, it's so difficult to talk about that even Mother Nature think it's boring.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, well, okay, I want to play a bit more now of Mother Nature talking to Sir David King.
The thing is, if anybody knows humans and the crazy they do and have done, it's me. Man, I've studied your kind for millions of years, David. I remember when you came out of the jungle. You were innocent back then, you know. But somewhere along the line, that innocence vanished. You started playing with fire. You developed. And in the blink of an eye, you spread to every continent like rats. Slowly but surely, you turned everything into a factory.
Wow, Roxanne, that is a dark view of humanity.
It is.
Does it reflect your own perspective, or are you just good at writing this curmudgeonly version of Mother Nature?
Yeah, I think from my like personal perspective, it is darker. I don't see humanity as so horrifically terrible that like we're like a disease on the earth. I think it's also, if you consider, like, if the world was watching us, like I was a character, Mother Earth or Mother Nature, whichever, it's like they have watched us basically grow and grow and grow, more prolific and more, like the Industrial Revolution just changed everything, and just watching that from a sort of outside perspective, I think, yeah, fair enough that they would see us as like a terrible disease on the face of their earth, considering what we're doing so quickly. So yeah, I don't agree with it because I'm a human. I love humans. Yeah.
Well, that among other examples is something of what you do here, which is break a lot of these so-called rules of podcasting on Sweet Little Human, and you are transparent about that in the podcast itself. One rule of thumb is that you have to catch listeners' attention within the first few seconds. That's certainly been drilled into me. So let's listen to Mother Nature talking about that.
Quiet, Mr. B. Remember the rule. Impatience is the magic word in 2025. Well, if we don't capture them in the first 10 seconds, they'll switch to another podcast. Probably some true crime crap or an incel ranting about their sad little life. Focus. Let's do this. Is the jingle ready, Mr. B? Well, put it on. You're listening to Sweet Little Human. And this episode is called Fire Animals.
So, Nicola, you're thumbing your nose at the rules of thumb for podcasting. Do you think it's effective?
This is again a critique of how.
Now I can get
That was his lure. Nothing yet. We had a bite, but nothing yet. Got a dragonfly on the tip of my. Something's got to take this chop block, man.
get a few bites on the frog. Sit here. Stand up. Oh, that scratch. There's something sitting here. I didn't use the muskie, it just came out of nowhere and just ate the door. Want to go to La Paz? Dad,
I want to go to the river.
La Paz? This is what people do if a big muskie is coming after it. They just go like this.
Yeah.
Why do they go like that?
Because it makes the fish react. Okay, stop. You're rocking the boat like crazy.
Squeak, squeak, squeak. Last time we went to La Paz, we caught a walleye, but it wasn't a keeper. Oh my god, there's another fish right there. It was a freaking... What the freak?
What the freak?
Why is this fish popping out of nowhere? They're just freaking coming up in the water.
What's up? Dylan, that's Dylan. Catch a fish for 50 gifted. I'll try my best.
We ain't 50 gifted.
I'm not sure. We'll figure that out.
We ain't 50 gifted. Let's sit down.
We're gonna troll our way to the river.
It's hot. How do we do it?
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We are looking for some monsters here today. Not having any luck so far.
Got little bites on the frog. They smacked that.
Alex had one on, bite from the frog, top water, but got off.
And the fish bite it again, but spit it out again. I'm trying to walleye lure. We're gonna catch some walleye here. Ooh, it's hot. Maybe make the lake warm. The fish will freaking bite. That looks so good too. Look at that. Oh, a little weed patch. Oh, more weed. There's a bunch of weed locust. Oh, more weed. That was getting a little too hot. That net. Let's catch your wallies. Water is cold. Other food patches. Oh, 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 oh. where we can use it. Broke it. And never grow. Never grow again. There's a huge leaf patch. Just sitting. Oh my god, there's more weed.
I think we gotta go out deeper. This is just frustrating.
Why does it smell like fish?
What do you mean? Why does it smell like fish?
Fish.
Sun is still pretty hot.
I'm cool because of the water. I can't see my feet from here, but I can see my feet in the water. That doesn't make no sense. You can see out here, but you can see in the water. There's some weed patches. Oh, yeah. There are some weeds.
You like turtle? Turtles are kind of cool.
Turtles are cute. When we get to Laval's River, like in the thing, I'm from the Grandy extract because it's not really deep, but it's shallow.
Well, I don't think there's any fish left, man. We're gonna have to go try some different lakes.
Yeah, freaking trout. Place dead. How good are trout?
Trout are good.
I want to try. There's a lot of weed in my football weed. This is so nice on feet in the water.
I gotta get mine out though.
Oh, I'm done.
Legs are starting to fall asleep. Freaking weeds, man. Yeah, I think next time we go out fishing, we're going to Trout Lake. Go to the deep lake. What? I know. Well, I'm trying to get away from these weeds so we can actually fish. Melted. They're all melted. That sucks. Yeah, like really melted.
Do you know you can have frozen chocolate bars? You can eat it.
Yeah. I'd rather eat my chocolate cold. What's up, butter? Huh? Oh, oh man, yeah. Northern told us what that was.
What was it?
I don't know. I can't remember what he said now.
What's the other one? The one for fish fighting. Wow, dude. Wow. Is Northern like doing this lately?
I don't know if he's in here or not. Next time I bring this with me, I gotta bring my reading glasses. It's harder for me to read. Should have brought my shorts. I should have worn my shorts. Get out at the river there where it's nice and beachy and go for a swim. You don't have shorts on either. Huh?
You can swing up your underwear.
I could. I could. What is up, y'all? What is up, y'all? If y'all just tuning in, we are on Lake Nipissing. We are trolling. We are fishing. We're on our way to Lavaz River. See if we can catch some fish. Wow. That might be done with. I don't know. The walleye might be all gone. Oh, we got a couple sea-doos behind us. Look at that. Some sea-doos. Oh. Ah. I don't know. Lavaz is also full of weeds.
Not full.
Well, last time we went through there, it was pretty full, so I could just imagine how full it is now.
The water's clear.
What's up, Northern? We were just talking about you. Now we haven't caught anything. Alex had a bite. He had one fish on back near the island with a frog, but then it got off. We haven't caught anything yet. We're trolling around. We're on our way to the river, but I don't know about that either, so. Yeah, it's cool how our trail can stay in the water for a while. A lot of weeds, man. A lot of weeds everywhere. Yeah, well, even the lake is really weedy. Everywhere is weedy. We're gonna be fighting with weeds. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm not gonna do it for very long. If I have to fight with weeds every cast, then there's something going on. I got tents set up at the beach there. Looks like there's some sort of an event going on. There's a big tent set up for a birthday.
Next time we go fishing, let's not stop there. Because I do have a lot of spinners. Where's the blade coming from?
God, I can't. It's fucking jeans. I don't know if it's.
Where's the blade coming from?
I still can't believe we haven't caught anything yet, though. Like, nothing. Not even a bass. Like, it's frustrating. I know it's not the lures. These lures are tried, tested, and true.
Got one.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Come on, please. You're my first fish.
Get it in here, Alex. Is it big?
I think it's a bass or a walleye. Oh, what is that?
Oh, it's a big bass.
Oh, yeah.
He's a flopper.
Oh, damn, I'll probably
Let's go. All right.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, don't bite me, damn it.
Yeah, let's go. Throw down. Yeah, it's pretty healthy. Nice color. Let's go. Like and subscribe, y'all.
I just ripped his teeth off.
They don't have teeth.
Yeah, teeth.
All right, we didn't get sunk. That's pretty good.
That's good. Good sign. I told you to go to La Vaz. To get some big ones. Caught my first fish.
I want to know what all these tents are set up here for.
Now, the fish are starting to bite now, which is good. And we can catch some fish. Damn, that bass freaking slammed down. Slammed. Came off by itself too.
Yeah.
That bass is very active.
Good easy catch.
Active fish.
Came in, got some excitement, caused no problems.
That bass was hungry. No walleye. One bass.
Yeah, Alice was just asking if you were in on the stream. I was like, oh, I don't know. Might be. And then like 5-10 minutes later, you're like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm like, oh.
I caught the first fish.
Yeah, you did. Like always.
Told you this fish had
Now let's catch a fish that we can bring home. Or at least something to brag about.
Do we even have walleyes in our freezer?
Oh yeah.
Might ask him for fish.
Because we could always have more.
Seagull.
What do you guys think of this new view? Is this okay? Do you guys like this? Or should I go back to the tripod? I like watching this view on other people's streams, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Reel in a little bit so you don't get snagged.
Oh my god, that thing's heavy.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. I hate going without a phone. Northern's phone is in repair, so he's sharing his wife's phone. Wow, look at all the big tents going on over here. What's going on down here? Is this where they're holding the farmer's market?
Stop crying.
Wind's picking up a little bit. It'd be nice for the ride home at least. We'll have the wind blowing in our face, so it won't be hot. Yeah, I know. It's okay. Well, let's fucking deal with it because this is how I have to maneuver to get through here. So you just fucking deal with it. It'll go on. Go on.
Oh my god, that's
Jesus, we got a skipper. That's just a little guy. Holy cow. Rippin' Lip, baby. Rippin' Lip. There's little Bethy.
That one's so huge.
That was huge. Hey, it's better than nothing, man. I got something.
Lures so I'm not gonna put my line.
The little Bathifi. The little Bathifi.
This is where he caught the big muskie.
Uh,
That was a problem.
well, it won't be now because I've got the net, proper pliers. I've got everything we need.
Warning. Big muskie is working. I can tell the shallow to the deep.
Yep.
About here. Doesn't look like it, but let's see.
I want to know what all these tents are here for. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of people here, but this guy, he's out there. He's like, I want to go swimming, but he's like, where does it get deep, bro? Oh, it's getting pretty shallow here. Why are you reeling in?
Because I have weed. What's that? This is where I caught the rock crabs.
Lots of tents set up. There's nobody in them. Like, what is going on? Security's there and everything.
Go nice and slow and fish can bite it. I'm just waiting for the big muskie to like this.
What's going on over there? Oh, I can't get the motor started.
Motor died right in front of here. it. That looks so good in the water. They're both using green lures. Well, at least we're catching something. This is where the bass jump.
Oh.
Look, fish just jumped. Okay. Stop right there. Oh, there's a duck sitting on the stick. Hang on my leg.
Duck on a stick.
Oh my god, it's so calm over here.
There's a duck on a stick.
This would be perfect for top water. Should I put on top water?
I don't care, man. Don't ask me, bro. Remember that. I always wanted to. I always thought about trolling with the top water, like trolling at that speed where it just lets the top water do a thing. I always got a tree pounder, bud. I got a tree pounder. Get it out of there, bud. Get it out of there. Got a tree pounder, bud.
So huge, right? It's so big. He got the world record. Add one. Or is it food? And on the top. Later, I'll put on a frog here.
You guys get anything?
Yeah.
A couple bass. Nothing to brag about though.
I got it.
A broken tree pounder. Wow, those guys aren't gonna be out on the lake very long. They didn't even make it 30 feet. He caught a tree pounder. Can't get the motor going. Rough day on the lake for those guys.
I try to skip a frog right in there. Big bass.
We still got tons of battery left too. We can go all the way up the river and back.
Oh, it doesn't tell very often. favorite noise.
I don't know yet.
Oh my god, look at that sunfish.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, can I pick it up real quick?
Have a blue geeky.
Wait, can I pick it up real quick?
Why? No, it was dead. Why do you want to pick it up? You just love touching fish, eh?
Yeah.
That's going to be dangerous when you get older.
How is it dead?
I don't know. Maybe somebody caught it. Scoop it up with the...
I never caught sunfish. Well, they have little teeth. Hey, you're alive, buddy. Hey, what's up? Oh, I can use this as bait, right?
No, you can't.
Aww.
It would be cool if you could, though.
I'm trying to revive this fish. Imagine a big muskie just come and ate my man of this. Oh, wake up. I know he's starting to breathe. This is my first time seeing a sunfish in real life. It's crazy. That's what they look like? I should tell them where the fish are. So I'm getting fish reaction on it. Very small mouth.
Wow, look how calm this river is. It's beautiful, but...
I let go of him. Oh my god, the water's warm here. Hey, where's that fish? No. No, fish is jumping. Right up there, but... Wow, that weed really grew over here. It's all calm. Where you want to stop?
Want to stop?
I know there's a big freaking fishes hanging around here. Now that spot is no more usable anymore.
No, there's too many weeds in there now.
That's right behind you. I'm using the green gear extract. Come on, fish, eat. Where's this glass for frog?
Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep trolling. Dude, you made me stop here and you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, I did. Come on, let me do something. I don't know why it keeps making that sound. What is that?
What sound?
The sound it's making right now.
Oh, the tree frogs. I think tree frogs.
Just trying to catch fish. This is a good open spot.
Yeah, see, like you could probably just cast that and hold it. Control it.
And cast it out real quick. Hop sandbox out. Or should I try throwing a frog in the board? This is a good spot to throw cowboy. A lot of open spots you can just freaking use it. Sit down. Still got freaking.
Let's go too quick. What's up, man?
Got weeds. Well, you are going. Dancing from the top.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. Yeah, we are trying. We've got a couple small ones. But, whoa, these guys got, their place got blown in. Oh, no. Looks like they haven't been there in a little bit, and their tent got blown right over. Looks like they're building up in there, but man, you're like bullseye with that. Oh, fuck, look at that. There's a tent right there, too. Look at, there's a tent right in front of us. They're not camping, they're fucking living there. Yeah, they are living there. That's a living space. Ooh. I was just gonna say, you might have caught right in the middle of the weeds. You're gonna catch those weeds. Yeah, we're gonna turn around and go back shortly. Okay, sit down. We're gonna pull a Yui.
Right at the good part, yeah.
What do you mean, right at the good part?